Welcome, my constant reader friends. I'm Tad, and this is Tad Reads Books and Stuff. So today, I'm just going to do a quick video. Really not a lot to go over, but, I have some ideas. First off, let me just do a quick update. So I'm still reading From Hell, Alan Moore, artist Eddie Campbell. You can see I'm a little ways in. A lot of the back portion of this book is Alan Moore likes to explain where he gets all of his references from, so a lot of that is at the back of the book, which is pretty cool. I actually like reading it, but I'm into it pretty good now. It's going great. Still reading through that. Also, Ruin by John Gwynne. Even the brave will fall. I'm listening to this again as I listened to the prior two books, of course. I'm only about 200 pages into it right now. It's going good. So far, I'm liking it a little bit better than the second book. Of course, I love the first book. I really liked it. It's going good. Let's see how it goes. We'll finish it this month for sure. And then, last but not least, I'm reading Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie. Now, as you know, I really did not like the first book. But I had a feeling that maybe it was because I was listening to it, in my car while I was working. And it wasn't anything against the reader. I think it was done well. It just, for some reason, I had an idea that maybe if I physically read it, I might like it better. So I moved on to the second book finally this month. And so far, I'm about 180 pages in. And you know what? I have to eat a little bit of crow here because I'm liking it a lot better. I'm liking it better than when I listened to the first book. Maybe it's because it's the second book and maybe the writing's got a little bit better. I don't know. But when I read a book, I'm very visual and it's helping me, I guess, with that. Sometimes I do have problems when I listen to a novel. I know some of you out there do as well and won't listen to them. But so far, I'm actually liking this much better than the first novel. So let's see. We'll see how it goes. But we'll be finishing that this month as well. All right. So what am I really going to talk about this episode is... Come here, baby. All right. So I've been listening to, over the years, a lot of podcasts. So this is the portion of, this show, Tad Reads Books and Stuff. This is other stuff. I used to listen to a ton of podcasts because I couldn't listen to books. I really didn't like listening to books. I don't know why. I didn't. I wanted to physically hold a book. I guess that's why I have a problem even reading books on Kindles. Because I don't know, I want to feel the book, I want to see the words. I read very slowly. Oftentimes I will reread, I don't know if you all have experienced this, I will reread a sentence or a paragraph over and over and over, trying to, get the minutia of the visual in my brain, I guess, or if it's something I really am enjoying or liking or not even, maybe not understanding. So that's why listening really wasn't a thing for me for a long time. But I did listen to podcasts. Back when I was doing more writing of my own, I listened to a lot of writing podcasts and things like that. And other podcasts about other hobbies and interests that I have. But I've gotten away from that. And I don't listen to as many podcasts as I used to. There's still a couple. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about one. But mostly now I do listen to books because my job, I'm driving most of the day and it's a good opportunity for me. So, what am I doing? What am I holding here? So this is Knifepoint Horror. I hope you can see that. Not too much reflection from the lighting in there. This is Knifepoint Horror, and this is a podcast that I started listening to actually several years ago, and it's one of the podcasts that I still listen to on a regular basis. But I'm going to set it down, sorry. It's not a podcast like a lot of podcasts that come out every week or every 2 weeks or every month or something. It's pretty much, he publishes an episode when he does them. So what is it? First off, the name, Knifepoint Horror. It's tales of supernatural horror, supernatural suspense. Some people are calling it quiet horror. I guess this is a new genre out now called quiet horror, where, you know, you don't have all that body horror. You don't have a lot of blood and guts and screaming and things like that. It's more, you know, in the background, the creepiness, the scariness, and it's awesome. Every story that he has told has been awesome. So let me explain. It's written and produced and mostly performed by Soren Narnia. Now, I kind of tried to research this. That sounds like almost like a made-up name, but so from what I can find, it's not. Soren Narnia. He does perform most of the stories. He does have some other characters' voices in some of his stories, but for the most part, he does everything. Writes, produces, performs. And they're really good. You got to listen to it. There's not a lot of, you know, special effects. Sometimes some wind or some music going on, or a scream in the distance or something like that. Very subdued. It's more of a storyteller. So every episode is a man or a woman or someone, a child, telling this scary story, kind of. And it's in different situations. Sometimes it's like somebody giving a presentation. They're standing on stage and they're showing some slides or films, and they're explaining this strange thing that happened to them. Sometimes it's a report from a reporter, or you know what I'm saying. It's first person, and he's just telling a story. His pacing and the low-key way that he talks is pretty creepy in itself, I think. I enjoy it very much. So what are the stats? So far, there are 67 episodes. He started this back in 2010 and through the present now. Usually he publishes 5 to 7 different episodes, different stories a year. But he has done as few as 2 and as many as 12. So you don't really, there's no plan, but basically what I'm trying to say, there's no planned, you know, when is the next episode coming out? So that, I think, kind of puts some people off. They like to listen to their podcasts, you know, on a regular basis. Kind of like the YouTube channel. They like, you know, you to be, every Monday I can watch Tad reads books and stuff, or something like that. So I think maybe that puts some people off, and it's hard to subscribe when there's months in between and you're not getting anything. I understand that, but it's well worth it. Please, if you haven't heard of this, which probably many haven't, you really owe yourself. If you like to listen to podcasts, some of you probably don't like to do that, but that's fine. It's another one of the stuff that I do that I listen to. It's great. So there is a self-published compilation novel that he did back in 2012. Now that one only, I believe, has like 20 stories in it, because probably, well, in 2012, that's all he probably had at the time. Now on Goodreads, there's not a lot of people that have made comments on this book, but it does have a Goodreads rating of 4.23, And I think anything in 4 or higher is usually indicative, at least, that the book is the stories are worth listening to or reading. I just wish more people would find this Knifepoint Horror and give it a listen. It's really cool. Now, if you get the book, I have heard some complaints about the book. He tried to do something different here. I don't have the book, but I guess there's no real chapters in the book. There's no real almost like story delineation, maybe a little bit wider spacing. There's no paragraphs. It's just straight print through the whole story. I think he's doing that on purpose to try to build suspense or to keep you moving almost like out of breath as you're reading these. I don't know if it works because unfortunately I don't have the written book. But suffice it to say, please, if you have any interest in horror, supernatural suspense, even, I'm a fan of Lovecraft. It's kind of Lovecraftian too. Please give it a listen. I'm really trying to push this on people. It's called Knifepoint Horror. The writer, producer, and performer is Soren Narnia. Please, if you have any interest in podcasts, give it a listen. All right, that's all I have today. We're going to continue reading everything for this month, and I'll see you next week. Peace out.